this is almost borderline not exciting anymore. Hey, I was looking at YouTube stats. I do it like twice a year, look at stats. And it's not looking good. What I mean by that is I looked at the last 2 years of views and revenue as they relate to the volume of videos that I'm posting. Actually, this year, this last 12 months, since I came back from my trip across country. So last year was big. I bought the R1250 GS Adventure, published 60 or so videos, and I published another 35 videos for my trip. And so over the course of the summer, I posted something like over 100 videos in the summer. So there was a big bump from views and revenue during that time frame. But since then, I've managed to publish 4 to 6 videos a month consistently since then. And yet, viewership is down 25% or so since then, roughly. It's quite interesting. Like, I'm averaging, you know, immediately now, I have 15,000 subscribers. I'm getting 100 views in the first 24 hours. It's just like if I was being, like, this is my career, it'd be, you know, abysmal. That's why I've never attempted to make this a career thing, because I don't think that I have I'm not the demographic, I'm not the location, I'm not the personality, I'm not the skills from editing and, you know, presentation perspective to go pro. So I'm okay with it. I just noticed that people are checking in less often. So of the 15K that are subscribed, maybe 150, 200 of you are actually still interested in what I have to say, and that's okay. It's not. I don't have a. I'm not measuring myself against engagement or views. It's just a trend. I've noticed the trend is down. So publishing, you know, as many videos as I have the last 10 years, yet things are going down. Not related to what I was going to talk about next, but just an interesting stat that, you know, I'm averaging like 50,000 views a month, where I was hitting closer to 75 consistently. And during my trip, it was 150,000 views a month during my trip. Oh, that was from the GS. From April to August last year, it was 150,000 views per month. So, not good, but it's fine. I recently blogged about the 10-year itch, and I think I'm getting it. And I don't want people to, like, I don't want to cause problems, or, but I'm almost 40, and I'll be 39 in August, and I have found in my life that I usually change, you know, how I spend my time, my interests, etc., every 10 years or so. There's FedEx. They have my Beta suspension on it, by the way. That's my my truck that has my suspension that I'm going to be receiving today. Yeah, I'm excited. That'll be the beta build will be done. I'll talk more about the finances of it in a future video, but basically suspension comes today. I am waiting for a front brake rotor, a brake spring, some pegs and some peg springs, and like a spacer. But other than that, the beta will be done. It will be roadworthy tonight once I get the suspension on it. I'm very excited about that. I'll do a whole economics breakdown video later. So 10-year itch is happening. So March of 2026 will be the 10th full year since I purchased my first motorcycle, my 09 GS Adventure. And it comes off the heels of essentially 10 years of being a hoarder, collector, trader, traveler, antiquities purveyor of beer. You'll look at some of those earlier videos in this channel and a lot about beer. I still have 1,000 bottles of beer roughly that are collectible and ageable and appreciating in value that I drink from time to time. But I'm no longer traveling to Copenhagen for a weekend or Belgium for a weekend or, you know, SoCal for a weekend in order to pick up a rare bottle. That, you know, four rare bottles, releases where I trade 3 of them for other rare bottles from other people. I'm not doing that anymore. My beer budget, I was spending about 30 to 40 grand a year in beer from 2009 to 2017, roughly. So, and that's packing, shipping, storage, purchasing the beer, UPS bills, etc. I was probably spending about $600-700 a month just in UPS shipping bills back in the day. It was a lot of money. So, you know, healthy area now in my beer hobby. I keep it local. I travel to Belgium once a year for an event and to meet with friends and drink with some buddies, and then you know, drink local, and still have bottles that are worth, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 that I could trade for other things that are more current, cool stuff, but they're just sitting there. I've talked to a few auction houses. They would give me something like 50 grand for my collection if I were to sell them to the auction houses, and so I just kind of keep that. I keep that in my back pocket. That hey, if I want to go on a round the world trip or something, I can sell my beer off, and I'd be fine with it. It'd be fine. I've had all these bottles already at tasting, so I don't need to drink the bottles that I traded up for a while back. I'm reaching that point with motorcycles. I'm not going to stop riding, not going to stop buying bikes, not going to stop, you know, enjoying the hobby. But do I need to purchase a motorcycle every year, modify it to the hilt, take 3 or 4 trainings per year, go on a month-long motorcycle trip alone, you know, do 1 or 2 BDRs, be the president of the Vermont Club, be the vice president of the National Club? That looks fun. You know, do I need to engage with all the local events and go to 18 rallies a year? No. Have I mastered motorcycling? No. But I went into a certain level where, you know, I had intimacy with a lot of levels of motorcycle maintenance, modifications, training, technique. I, you know, did really well in the GS Trophy qualifier. I've ridden to Alaska. You know, I've ridden across country a couple of times. I've done Newfoundland and Trans-Labrador. I've ridden all the way down to the, you know, I've done 2 of the 4 corners. You know, I've done a lot of stuff in 10 years. I've ridden 20,000 miles a year roughly for 6 or 7 of those years. I've done my time. And, you know, I think people should have realized that so I bought my 2016 Golf R about 6 months before I bought my 2009 GS Adventure. And while I still enjoyed that Golf R, the last 3 years of ownership were pretty shitty. I kind of just let it sit around and I didn't really drive it much, and I ended up selling it for about what I paid for it. And the motorcycling hobby took over. And you guys have noticed I've bought a convertible, and I want to buy either a Z4 M40 in a couple of years, a manual, or I want to buy an M4 CS. Oh, sorry, M2 CS in a couple of years. I'm getting back into cars. Part of it is fatherhood. Heather asked me a week or 2 ago, are you ever motorcycling? You haven't ridden much in a while. I'm like, when am I going to ride? I am the drop-off or the pick-upper for Matilda. So every day I can't ride to work on the bikes because I have to pick up the kid. And on the weekends, I'm working 2 jobs. So on the weekends, I want to spend time with you guys. So we'll hop in the convertible and we'll go camping or we'll go on a drive together. And the convertible is my way of getting Matilda into an open air experience that, you know, motoring as a catch-all term for motorcycling and car driving. You know, motoring with Matilda will still be special. She's still going to have fun cars. We have this, you know, cool truck that we can do stuff with. We have I put a stage 1 tune, APR stage 1 tune on the Tiguan, which is breathed some new life into that car. It basically has the performance of Audi Q3S, or SQ3. Has the horsepower torque of an SQ3. So Heather's enjoying her Tiguan again, and Matilda likes us to go fast in sport mode. And we have the E46 convertible that Matilda loves. She loves getting that car. And I actually tell her, hey, that's your car. You know, the truck is mine, the Tiguan is Heather's, and the convertible is hers. And we only drive it when we're taking her places on nice sunny days. And I want to get, when I get the garage done, I want to get an M2 or a Z4, and that'll be the car that Matilda rides in when she gets a little bit bigger and doesn't need to face backwards anymore. And can sit in the front seat with me in a booster seat. And love it, you know, a 400, 500 horsepower car. She'll love that. She's not going to be able to sit on the motorcycle until she's 9, 10, 11, 12, just to be responsible and put her in safety gear. And so when I look at the timeline, that means motorcycling is an Adam thing on times when it's convenient, not a commuter, not a weekend touring. It's a hey, I have no in-person meetings today, so let me ride to the cafe for 3 hours and work and then go home for my Zoom meetings. That's my motorcycling experience right now. Or twice a year, I go to a camp out. I went to Frosty Nuts. In a couple weeks, I'll be going to the Quebec rally up in Quebec with the BMW Canadian Club. And I'll probably, because they want to do more serious off-roading, I'll probably drive the Ram up with the 701 or the Beta in the back of it and ride off-road with those guys. So the 10-year itch is not a 10-year itch of like, hey, I'm over motorcycling. It's a 10-year itch of, hey, it's been 10 years. I've learned a lot about this hobby. And maybe it's time to find something different. And I think that's going to be, for a couple of years, it's going to be our house rebuild. That's going to occupy my winter and probably into next summer. We're probably going to get a pontoon at some point. And we're probably going to, when we're probably going to do a M2 or Z4 purchase in the next year or two. And, you know, spend our time playing with that. And where does that fit in for videos? We're not traveling as much either. This isn't an apology video. It's just a, hey guys, I appreciate you. I'll still keep uploading videos, but you know, things are changing for me. And that's the seasons of life. Between now and when I'm 50, assuming I keep my health. And I think you guys, you know, I hope you guys realize before I hang this video up that I'm pretty calculated. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Like, I got this 2024 GSA because I knew the 1300 GSA was going to be over 30 grand before modifications. I knew that 8 or 10 grand of my modifications for my R1200 GSA could move over to this one. And I got this for 0% interest for 3 years. I bought this, you know, for a price that was a great price because it was sitting in a dealership as GSAs were arriving. And it'll be paid off by the end of this year. I'll pay it off early. And then I'll have a new GSA with a 7-year BMW warranty attached to it for you know, the next 7 years. Before Matilda is old enough to, you know, where she can kind of be more autonomous, and maybe I'll get a new bike at that point. This is a 7-year bike for me. I bought a convertible with cash because I knew that with our house rebuild, our mortgage would explode in monthly prices with interest rates today, and I wanted a fun car. So I bought that convertible with cash. And then finally, you know, the Beta. It's a used Beta at the bottom of depreciation. I needed some work. I wanted a project to fill my time up that I couldn't ride. All that with cash. And it'll be a dirt bike that I keep for 3, 5, 6 years. And so I'm kind of getting things, and the Ram will be paid off this year. By November, I'll pay the Ram off. And so I'm getting to a place where I've got very little outstanding debt, no credit card debt, of course. And our mortgage is going to explode once adjusted that for a couple of years, do some house projects. But overall, you know, I'm planning, you know, that the stable is kind of stable. The motorcycle stable is stable because I just don't have the ability to so I'm going to back into here. I don't have the ability, the economic or the time ability to think about new bikes right now and funding the hobby. And so I've been pretty, oh, it's a nice drop off. I've been pretty calculated. There we go. With my purchases the last 12 months, you know, getting back to New Hampshire, paying off money, well, you know, further expanding on that, like, getting all of my surgeries done, having the baby while we had amazing health insurance, like $50 total out of pocket to deliver a baby, $50 to do my shoulder surgery and all the PT. I mean, you know, the LASIK was $1,800, you know, getting all that stuff done while we had great insurance and not a baby in the way, or a baby on the way was really smart. Getting back here, paying a bunch of stuff off to prepare for the expensive remodel we're doing, you know, all that was calculated. And so now we'll start 2026. I'll be 39 years old. We'll have a 2-year-old baby, and we will be mostly debt-free, except for the last year of Heather's Tiguan and the house mortgage, the mortgage payment. So, but then at that point, hey, we're not really doing much more, and I don't have the time. So, 10-year itch, but at the same time, it's a part of life, seasons of life. All right, guys, I'm gonna get some coffee and get some work done. I got some shit to do, but appreciate you all listening to me talk, and thanks for watching. Ride safe.